Hello, my name is Nadia. Welcome to another episode of RemoteWorkAdvocate.com. Today, one of my most favorite topics, which is hiring remote workers or recruiting remote workers, headhunting remote workers. Tons of different names for it, and it's a really long subject, but I am willing to cover just one thing today, which is how to assess the skills of candidates that apply or you headhunt them to work remotely. This is really important. As I said, the topic is really broad because when we talk about recruitment in terms of remote workers, when we talk about hiring remote workers, we can talk about recruitment strategies. We can talk about strategic human resources planning. We can talk about assessing their skills. We can talk about one crucial thing that so many remote companies forget, especially fresh remote companies. It's objectives for the very beginning. Once you hire somebody and you want to make sure that this person is performing, you have to give them objectives, even for the trial period, to make sure that they really can do it, because that's how you measure performance. That's how you measure if they should stay with the company long term. So today, as I said, we're just going to talk about assessing skills of potential remote workers, what they should know, what they should have in terms of their soft skills as well, to make sure that it's going to be a good fit and to eliminate risks proactively, because you can actually apply some techniques that will help you to make a decision whether you're willing to hire that person or not. So what are the top skills? Some of them may be really easy to guess. The first one that I'm willing to talk about is time management skills. Remote workers have to manage their time well. And what does it mean by managing time well? That means that you have to be able to prioritize. You have to be able to stick to the rules that are applicable in one certain moment, even for you. It's not this way that you feel that much freedom that you think, I have all the time in the world and I'm just going to work whenever. No, that's not the way. Absolutely not. It can't be that way that you start in the morning, then you kind of go out somewhere and then you finish things wherever and you lose control, okay? They can't lose control. If they say that they're going to deliver, they also have to deliver. Which brings us to another aspect, and that means actually being able always to serve in a punctual way, okay? They have to be punctual. Remote work, we always talk about the result, right? That's the most important thing. I mentioned in all my previous videos that remote work is not about where we work, but how we work. So remote work is results driven. So that means we have to be punctual. There is no such possibility that we are going to say we will do it and then we won't, just because we don't have a manager standing next to us and looking and asking us constantly whether we are going to deliver on time. That's a no. So remember, we have to look for people who are punctual, and you can actually assess it during the recruitment process, because I always say that it's great to assess certain hard skills of the candidates by maybe sharing some tasks with them that they can perform. And if you set a strict deadline and that person doesn't really reply to you on time, despite the fact that he or she said that they would, that is already a sign that most probably there may be a problem afterwards, unless there is a good justification, or good explanation. Another matter is obviously communication skills. Communication is the key, and communication doesn't mean talking a lot, okay? Communication means being able to deliver a message that the other party is going to clearly understand, okay? So we have to make sure that we have that when we hire a person to work remotely. So whenever we exchange emails with that person, or when that candidate delivers us their case study, like I said, or the task that they were supposed to complete, then we have to see what the communication flow is, if we even understand what the person has to say. And I know that it is also sometimes really difficult when you just chit-chat with somebody, but when you ask a question and that person is not responding straight to the point, but talking about anything else in the world, well, that means that the whole communication flow may be like not really straight to the point. So you have to make sure about that. Another matter is teamwork skills. Teamwork skills, that's really important too. And here, if we can assess it, I mean, of course, if you're going to ask a person a question, do you know teamwork skills? Yes, they will probably respond, yes, I do. But that's not the way we do it. So teamwork is about working with the entire team. So in recruitment processes for remote teams, it is very common and very wise, I tell you that, very wise, to engage your team members in different online meetings with those candidates, right? So that they can really see if it clicks. Okay. It's just not working today. Anyway, you're willing to see if it clicks, okay, and if they really get on well, right? Because it has to click to make in the entire team, to make sure that the communication flow, that the teamwork is going to be there, right? Another matter is the culture fit, and the culture fit is crazy tricky because not that many companies have assessed their culture. And here I say, go back to my remote work audit, remote ready audit, to find out what your culture even is. But for the culture fit, it's really important, and I'll tell you why. Because a thing that I've come across so many times is questions from different companies. Nadia, tell me, how can I motivate my remote workers? How can I motivate my remote employees? But I respond, were they motivated before? Were they ever motivated? What is their motivation to work in this company? So here we go back to the source. And the source is hire the right people to work in the right circumstances for a common goal. So the culture fit also includes making sure that we hire people that are passionate about what they do as well, right? In that case. So people that are passionate about what they do. And when you ask somebody why you're willing to join this company, today many people are going to respond, oh, well, because we want to work remotely, right? But if you really want to ensure that the motivation is going to be there afterwards, ask yourself questions, if you have them, about the mission and vision of your company. And then the values that your culture has, that your company has, and check if that person has the same values, shares the same values, what they believe in. So if they actually say, hey, that's an amazing project, I really love what your company does, right? I really want to be part of it. I really want to be part of something big, part of this team. Then you feel that they're passionate about the entire topic, and it also is going to help later on with motivation, because they will feel that they also contribute to the mutual success. I say hire people whose personal, professional goals are in line with the goals of the company. That's how we create a win-win for both, okay? And that's really important to assess it up front. Of course, you have different positions. You have interns, you have juniors, you have mid, seniors, you have C-level management, right? So the motivation is going to be different. So there's different things to assess, right? And to a different extent. If you're hiring an intern or if you're hiring a junior to perform repetitive tasks, you don't necessarily have to focus on the mission that much. But if you hire somebody who's going to lead a team, well, that would be crucial. So you can actually choose the aspects that you believe are the most important ones. And also another thing, which you definitely shouldn't forget, it's checking really on the spot how the people are going to react, right? So the more you make things clear about objectives, something that I said in the beginning, about a certain position, what needs to be done, because remote work is about getting things done. So the more you mention about what is expected, the smaller the risk is going to be that the hire will be unhappy afterwards, and you will be unhappy too, because you spend money on looking for a candidate. Then you perform the whole recruitment process, and then you hired somebody, you trained them, you onboarded them, and then it's a disaster. We are willing to avoid that. So that's a really important thing. Be proactive, not reactive. If you have any other questions about how to hire remote workers, how to assess them, which frameworks you should use, how to ask all these questions to make sure that the responses are really reliable, make sure to let me know. I have hired hundreds of people all around the world, and both in on-site companies, both in remote first and in hybrid as well. And that's something that I absolutely love doing. Yeah, so I'll be happy to share all the hints with you. If there's anything that you still want to know, make sure to stay tuned for more info from my side, and let's get connected. Thanks for watching.